Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drew Deeks channel. It is prospect season, ladies and gentlemen. We just came out of trade season, and who knew that it was also going to be prospect season for the Montreal Canadiens and their fans. Picks in prospect season, but specifically prospects right now. The Canadiens just recently signing Jordan Harris, who spoke to the media for the first time today. We'll maybe touch on that in a moment, a little bit later. But today, signing scoring prospect, might I add, Joshua Waugh. And I thought that actually that sounded a little sexier than just simply a forward prospect, which is true, right? Joshua Waugh is a scoring prospect, and that's why he's somebody that fans are starting to get excited about the more that they learn about him. Now, I thought that the most interesting thing that I learned today, I don't know if it's the most interesting because I did learn a lot today reading about all about Joshua Waugh, however you want to pronounce his name. I heard him drafted, and it was Roy. But this was one of the most interesting things I learned today about him, and that was he was in fact the first overall pick in the 2019 QMJHL entry draft, which I didn't realize. And as somebody who follows the OHL, the Ontario Hockey League here in Ontario, sometimes that can be overrated, as a status. But in this case, I'm not sure it is. I mean, some of you will also know that Joshua Roy was selected to the Team Canada World Junior Selection Camp just this past World Juniors, which of course the tournament, as we know, was cut short, and Joshua Roy was cut from that roster. But based on the projection I have for him, he did sign a 3-year entry-level deal, which to me means that he has more time to develop. He's only 18 years old. He turns 19 this summer. So I expect that with him being cut specifically from the World Junior roster this year, that we will see him at the World Juniors next year. And that's going to be a great opportunity for him to showcase himself before Canada, before Canadiens fans. So, all right, what are we getting in this player, though? Let's actually really look at the scouting report. We can all look at the numbers, but what specifically is interesting and unique about his game? So there's a few things, and that let's start with this. So it's the 200-foot game. These are some major highlights from his scouting report, and that is the 200-foot game, his shot, his hockey IQ, and his grit. Now let's get into more specifics on that game and the overall description of what he's going to bring. So according to scouts, no major flaws in his game. He's a smart player at both ends of the rink, hence the 200-foot game highlight there. Well-positioned defensively, creates turnovers. That's one of the biggest assets to his game, is that he creates turnovers and helps really feed the transition game on offense. He's able to draw penalties because of that. His hockey sense is high, and because his hockey sense is high, he's able to draw penalties. He's a good puck handler, does well in puck battles along the boards, and therefore finds the short passes out of those battles when he's getting, defended closely along those boards. He's able to make those short passes out, short outlet passes, I guess you could say, to an open forward. And on the power play, this is where I think Montreal Canadiens fans can really look forward and get excited about Joshua Roy, because if you think about, for example, where Mike Hoffman is at right now on the power play, kind of a one-dimensional player, right? We still have him right now, and I know he's under contract for a couple more seasons. So whatever we're going to do with Hoffman, we're probably going to keep him until Joshua Roy shows up. So at least that's my potential prediction for at least right now. We'll see what happens with Jonathan Drouin down the road. But and you talk about a Quebec-born player too, so don't forget that Joshua Roy is a Quebec-born player. So that's a big deal for Montrealers, of course, and that's why when you get too much hype and pressure on a guy, you don't want to do that. But anyway, getting back around to him and what he brings, he can. I mentioned the turnovers and the power play, so that's really where Joshua Roy can help the future of the Montreal Canadiens power play. Cole Caulfield on the right, and actually, you know what? Wherever Caulfield is positioned in the future, if you got Suzuki, Caulfield, Joshua Roy on your power play, maybe Justin Barron on the point, Caden Gould, whoever it happens to be. Like, these are all kids, which is pretty fun to picture all these guys actually leading the way for the Habs in the future here. But what's interesting about Joshua Roy's game on the power play is he actually played the left point. So when he was drafted, he was listed at center, but he played the majority of his time in the QMJHL as a left winger. So, and on the left point, which is really interesting for the power play. I love the idea of that look on the power play because his shot is lethal. That's one of the strongest points of his game. So that's where you could look at, once Hoffman does his time in Montreal, you can maybe bring in Joshua Roy once he's had more time to develop. So that's where, as a Habs fan, I am excited to really see this guy. And I'm hoping and I'm expecting him to make Team Canada's World Junior roster next year, even though it's going to be weird to see the tournament finish out this summer. But anyway, That's where I'm excited to see him there. Couple other notes here. Let's just pull up Hockey DB. We'll look at his numbers just for fun because we can. I know you guys can do this on your own, as I mentioned before in other videos, but why not look at it together? It's fun to look at stuff together, right? So let's just look at his numbers for this season in the queue with Sherbrooke Phoenix. This is where he was really starting to catch a lot of folks' eyes. Was with the Sherbrooke Phoenix this season in particular. In just 50 games played, Joshua Roy has 36 goals, 56 assists, 92 points in 50 games, a plus 36 rating. Now, how tough is the competition for Joshua Roy in the queue compared to what it's going to be in maybe even the AHL before the NHL? Probably very different. That being said, his intelligence, the fact that he does have some grit to his game, and we didn't really touch on his size. So his size rings in at 6 foot tall, 186 pounds currently. And as I mentioned, he turns 19 this summer in August. So a lot to be had here, though. I mean, I'm not trying to overhype prospects, and I know that I ran into some objections with Jordan Harris, defense prospect, who just also signed on the weekend with the Habs, comparing him and his some parts of his game to Morgan Riley, which, yes, it was a lofty comparison. I get that. And I'm not even going to draw a comparison for Joshua Roy right now. It's just too early. I'm not going to do that. But I want to know what you guys think about this player. So make sure to comment down below and let me know how excited or how cautiously optimistic you are about Joshua Roy. He is a Quebec-born player. He's a Montreal Canadiens draft pick. Therefore, the spotlight is going to be shining brightly on him. But what I am confident in, though, is the new Habs regime and how they're going to handle these prospects. And the fact that, my goodness, Habs fans, we actually have a player development system, an analytics department. We've got a new skills coach in Adam Nicholas. He's actually taking on a bigger role in the hockey development department specifically. But this being said, guys, I want to know what you guys think about Joshua Roy. You've done your research, hopefully at this point, or go ahead and look at clips and just the scouting reports. You get an overall vibe sometimes from a player, even before you've seen him in person or on TV up close, however you want to word that. But let me know what you guys think, because I am getting excited about this player, and I want to know if you guys are too. And we haven't seen this many prospects slowly creeping in where we're having a lot of faith and belief that they're going to be something good. And I think we have to be careful and get ahead of ourselves. We're giving the Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton regime a lot of credit right now before a lot of these prospects work out, but we're hopeful, right? So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget also, I just launched a new episode of my newer podcast that I've been doing with my friend Eric Vaca. So I'll put that link right up here for you guys. Deeks and Vaca, check that out. It's a league-wide podcast, mostly talking about the NHL and not just the Montreal Canadiens. So if you want to hear something different, Eric gives some great takes. He's a great hockey mind, as I continue to tell everybody. So do check that as well if you're interested. Thanks for the support as always, guys. Cheers. Can't wait to hear your comments. We'll see you soon.